So I just saw Sinners for the third time this week, and let me just say 10 out of 10 movie. It's so rich in depth and character substance that you have to rewatch it multiple times and you'll discover new things upon rewatches. And then on top of that, your perspective expands the more you watch it. So every time you watch it, it feels like you're watching a completely new movie. And one of the biggest things I've been seeing online about it from a lot of the spiritual we live in the Matrix type motherfuckers is about how, you know what I'm saying, this movie is about the power of music. And upon first glance, yes, I do think that is a very clearly underlying message. I feel like a 5-year-old or an 80-year-old could pick up on that message while watching it. But upon rewatching the movie multiple times, I noticed something deeper brewing beneath the surface of the movie. The music, the vampires, the deaths, and for some reason my mind always came back to free will. The monsters slash antagonists in the movies are these vampire creatures that have a cult-like fellowship that is led by a head vampire named Remick. He is an Irish man turned vampire that has been turned for thousands of years to our knowledge, and Remick is also an emotional vampire, no pun intended. He uses his charismatic charm and ability to look like an underdog as a tool to lure people into his vampire fellowship. We literally see this when we are first introduced to him. He is being chased by Choctaw native Indians that are vampire hunters who know what he truly is behind the sheep's clothing. And to escape them as they are about to kill him, he ends up stumbling upon a house that is the home of a racist couple that is a part of the KKK. And he convinces them that he is a man that is being targeted by the Indians that also just killed his wife. And after he shows them some gold from hundreds of years ago, as he is literally older than the dirt they are standing on, they let him in out of sympathy and wonder for personal gain. And they ultimately pay the price for it, both being turned after they deny the help and warning from the Indian vampire hunters that tell them that he is not what he seems. And the Indians remind me of the voice of God when it comes to free will. It's swift, straight to the point, and it doesn't try to be or convince. It lets you choose. Versus the voice of Remick that reminds me of a tactic that negativity, the devil, or demons use. Oftentimes, the devil doesn't come playing this heavy metal guitar, red skin and horns, but rather a soft, beautiful song. A pretty woman, a cool guy in a leather coat who gets a bunch of women, telling you that you can be just like him. These blood-sucking people and negative energies learn to understand your insecurities and wants. And once they find them, they play to that. You ever had that one homeboy who is being played like a fool by a girl, and he just goes, ah, she had a bad childhood, all she needs is somebody to love her. Or a homegirl who can't leave that one guy that's obviously no good for her, and it seems like the person that they are in that relationship with is just sucking the life out of them. As much as we love to victimize them because they're our friends and they're the ones being hurt, I think we need to start placing more of the blame on ourselves and those people, because the devil, this negativity, can only do what you allow it to do to you. Free will is a thing. The couple didn't have to let Remick in, but he saw they had a thumbscrew and he played to that. They fell for the temptation. It was because of this racist couple that the rest of the town was killed and turned into vampires, because if they didn't let him into the house, the Indians would have caught him, killed him, and he wouldn't have been able to turn anybody else into a vampire, because to our knowledge, he was the only vampire at that time. Although your free will is a personal choice, that doesn't mean it doesn't affect others, and that also doesn't mean people won't trick you to feel like their voice of reason, their choices, their opinions are your own when making choices. Like later on in the movie, Remick will go on to turn a whole club of black people into vampires after infiltrating it to capture a musician named Sammy. Most of the main characters though, however, would not get turned at least until later due to them staying inside because of an emergency while the rest of the club ran outside. In this Remick, when the sun goes down at nighttime, when the mask and sympathy is off, is a completely different Remick from the one that we saw in the beginning. He almost reminds me of a nice guy. When he is the one that needs you, he's completely soft, gentle, and tries to convince. And he's all on that it's one love type shit. But once he gets the thing he wants, he sees that the jig is up. He shows what he was doing from the jump and who he really was. A self-interested narcissist that will get and do whatever he wants. The same as the devil even. It bombards you with emotional overstimulation, temptation, fear, desperation. It tells you these hard times will last and they will never end. And the only way out is through him. And a telltale sign of somebody that's not good or the thing they are trying to do isn't genuine is how they react after you tell them no. After you tell them, I don't want to subscribe to this thing. I don't want to do the thing that you want me to do. And after Remick tries to convince them that this is the better way of life, somebody even says that this is like heaven on earth, the same kind of like a religion, and they still aren't going for it. That's whenever the real Remick shows again. He begins to use fear tactics. He takes off the sheep clothing because he realizes that they already see that he is a wolf. And contrary to popular belief of so many people who say he was a victim and he was just trying to help and create a better life, this is so far from the truth, because the way he tries to convince them to join him is by threatening to kill people they love. He found a way to trick them into using their free will to let them in or to get them outside of their buildings, and then then turned them into vampires. And through this threatening of a woman named Grace, who went viral for eventually letting them in by saying he was going to kill her daughter if she didn't let them in, Remick and the vampire crew was eventually let in. Remember what I said about how even though it's your free will, it's your choice, it affects others? Her choice, overwhelmed by emotions and fear, caused for almost everybody in the house to get killed, when realistically, if she would have just waited it out and realized these hard times won't last, as soon as the sun would arise, she could have gone and retrieved her daughter. Sometimes these demons, these vampires, come into your life soft and needed help, and other times they come in as these enforcers that say either it's my choice or pain. But I'm telling you right now, these things, these people, these energies can only have of you what you give them. They can only harm you if you let them in. So in words of Marvin Sapp,
I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
guys, go watch Sinners. It's a really good movie, probably one of the best original films that we've had in this past decade. I truly enjoyed it. Amazing black movie too for all the melanated beings out there. But yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Check out my Instagram, go subscribe to my Twitch. We're gonna start streaming soon. It's coming, and I love you all. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
That's the right, drop the beat.